I say yesterday's game was an interesting game which offered us a surprise. Measures the better and run. In all our submissions, we expected Arsenal to exert themselves, especially on mobile field. But again, this is why this is the Champions League and this is why it's the semi-final stage. So mechanics are in the game. Clearly, there are two teams only a bit similar. And more approach with and without the ball. But again, the approach for the game yesterday had differences. Kakra. This is how I saw Enrique's team. Mekacho was Enrique will not change. He will stick to his principles. And I'm a boy. I come here betina no catch or say, the course in the any now go now PSG say no. Esse go almost shed it here Liverpool. And I'm a boy. The same. Excellent positional movement. Swift passing where necessary, retain possession where necessary, but ni nano would have to do with player movement. Nuno Mendes, Ashraf Hakimi, Omoye wing backs, and Ameboa. But in the game against Aston Villa, goals Omoshen, they were the far advanced players of the PSG, even the attackers. So Omo team they are not static, a very mobile side, very fluid. So it was about Arsenal's ability to adapt to PSG game. It's unfortunate for Arsenal. PSG starting them. So time Arsenal adapting, Near show movie.
Okay,
Arsenal bet CSA. Could see and you say, na saying yeah, no. Na PSG didn't cash on. If so, no, amongst the sound. Okay. Before Arsenal understood, the was a Moya near show movie. Near the ball not to a Martin movie. So you can check. I had this image. My name say if I can still get it and show it to Shadrach. The quality of chances created and the likelihood of scoring. Who was right from the 30th minute, Arsenal the first row, Eja PSG, True, PSG created chances here and there, but Ni Inano came in between a spell of Arsenal dominance. Way back, match momentum. Into match momentum, we say from the 15th minute, baby also red, a Arsenal, baby also blue, a PSG. On your fantasy. So we say from the start, PSG dominated from the 0 to the 15th minute. From one of a momentum or generate and the share go in between the 0 and then the 5th minute. Then from there, they were hot again. But from the 15th minute, see the 27th minute, it was Arsenal. PSG be flashing kakra. Arsenal baby on PSG are flashing kakra. So you can see the spells of momentum in the game. Dominated by Arsenal. Yeah. But this period, the only time PSG were more consistent in terms of dominating the momentum creation period, from the 1st minute to the 15th minute. A horse not going by. So Andrew, I spoke about two things. Luis Enrique's sticking to principles and Arteta's adaptability as a coach. But it's unfortunate that Oman's winning them. I've heard people talk about Partey anyway. Trust me, Partey would not have made much of a difference. Or one care. Bo free mono. And ha Arsenal be bresa to say a man for baby PC peja kodruno.
Okay.
And so to me, the second leg, the game changer will not be Partey. If Arsenal will qualify, the game changer in the second leg will not just be about an individual in Partey. It will be about the Arsenal collective and how they apply themselves right from the start. Partey will make a difference, but he won't be the game changer. Dembele made the difference, but the game changer in this first leg, it wasn't Dembele. See about Dembele Abaso for the role he played, but we also have to credit Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. And you'll be on the team and your vision, pick passes out. Pass no Adema Dembele, and the weight of the pass. Obi to me passing them do boy na first row. He knew what was expected. They don't know him. Only because I had your money. Why not tell me so money? I almost. So the game changer for me was Luis Enrique and how he used the team. No, coaches be there say tools available, resources available at your disposal. Enrique, you soon need the NEA. So I agree with Steve O. So catch say PSG will team no. I think they even have a squad as well. Team no you Enrique use no. A team or more tenase and also Tiomase. So in October when Arsenal beat them last year, Dembele was still struggling to come to terms with their coach Pesoye. So you're dropping from the start the squad altogether. Anameboa, a free honor. We have seen a different PSG in the knockout stages than we saw of them in the early stages of the league phase. Yebe we league phase no mo soldier, e ho no mo che Man City no mo. Anameboa, good. So they are growing in leaps and bounds. Their manager ne ede yo mo no ye nyamenyumbi fameye ni ope players na they've made themselves available for the manager to use them. So to me, Arsenal and Saye, and yes, but it is about how brilliant PSG are in terms of playing to the style and the dictates of Luis Enrique. And on the PSG team here, Arsenal and Saye. The occasion perhaps might be huge because we're the second time at Stadium Way hosted semi-final of the UEFA Champions League. These players and then the big stage, the confidence they got from beating Madrid, no. But here will be a friend experience. You tap into it when things go difficult or they do not go your way. Say experience, they are two Arsenal and Rano. Or moon to mean those who come coffee bimba. Experience everywhere. They did not do a comeback against Madrid. They did not do a comeback against PSV Eindhoven. In fact, in the history of Arteta's Arsenal, they've never done a serious comeback in the Champions League before. And any experience, so what the year Madrid on Bibi said Madrid team Ojina Naswa on Bibi Obera Bibi Obefa and a baby Obera to get the experience to beat you. Yes. Liverpool Nimbi Obeye to get the experience to overturn. So experience also does count. Trossard, Martinelli, they are fine players, but you need more than fine players at this stage to deliver. And you fine players in Nkwa. Sabe, and yes, can Kwanya di Kodi Gaye Diani Ede. At times I also on Sano Sobo. So, only a fine players on any given day they can steal the show. Bukayo Saka, fine player. Wakoshe go Benabao. But Nyoma Muya Dia. I was here who share aye bida. Na oba no be ye dia. Why ye bida no? Ewom. Arsenal nibi. They will need to develop it. It comes with time. But I will end on this note. I won't sit here and make sweeping conclusions here. And see here. This game, I advantage PSG. But Arsenal are still in there. PSG 9 back. Yeah, PSG 9 back. And they were dining. And I eponone be Arsenal so person force no rim. And the PSG in 9 back on a wabon. And Arsenal to make pie. Arsenal no afano kwa rim. So Arsenal still stands a chance to qualify. But a Juma no soon. To go to Paris and then deal with this PSG team in a manner that is expected of Arsenal. Say so moyeno. They fancy and the young cannot cray. It is a difficult task, but any idea omun to me it is possible. When you football, there will be a fan of off days. Down the by mobile. This PSG team has played the best of footballs against Liverpool in Paris. But Liverpool won the game eventually. Anameboa. Send a Shadrach deck image neto so ani momentum graph no. Any the momentums in the game Arsenal dominating in terms of momentum so man should go back no. A bit to me see what Paris. So it is anybody's style. Be beer to me sister. Be beer to me see. But I will end on 2 things. Partey will be a difference maker, but will not be the game changer. And again, Arsenal must learn to value quality chances and convert when the time comes.
Whoa.
Crucial for their survival. The second leg. But PSG, I think they will continue with the Omoyena, and it is brilliant at that. Omo Midfield, you know. Meninka is the best in Europe at the moment. PSG have the best midfield in Europe at the moment.
Okay. Whoa, Barca.
Man, I want to start off with Steve Odiwie confidence. Barca game with much more confidence.
From Clasico, no?
Exactly. That win Omunya against Real Madrid, and they almost started so far this season. League, comfortably, they are in a position. They've won the Copa del Rey. Now their sole focus will be on making the next stage of the Champions League, which is the final. So the confidence is there. Inter are coming into this game with a lot to contend with. How did they wrestle back supremacy was Real? How did they avoid their recent slump? The last 3 games are to generate an XG of 2 or more in their last 3 games or more. Clearly, they are a team low on confidence and form and some more, and their focus is a bit divided. See, the treble case, Lucy, because they are no longer in the Coppa Italia. They can at best do a double, which under Simone Inzaghi they have tried, but they have failed previously. So Inter bagay we more baby son no questions. Are we that good? Team I see recent results now will affect their psyche. To baby so more questions. Yes, Anna. Are there Nisi? And against an opponent like Barca or none the was it puts them at a certain disadvantage. Now I want to talk about some of the interesting things that will unravel in this game. First one, Barca's high defensive line.
One to me.
Barca defense or Mupiabe Nimpa. So you're aware. Good. It makes it on paper very easy to break Barca down. But we understand you are undermining the intelligence of players' normal application on the field. I say, Barca team where there's so Mupiabe Nim. Eddie Ebeshomo. Anameboa. And so come to me. Why? Because the players are very intelligent enough, but I have a bit of a concern. Barca have applied themselves more in recent games, And we are training near say Hansi Flick Buofu. Players need be reporting them. Anameboa. Good. And again, there were concerns raised about the physical levels, energy levels of the Barca players. A breaker creepy yaba. Good. When a break yaba, it affects focus. And minus Balde, Barca defensive line, a certain vulnerability and now weakness be. So check. In their last few games, their offside trap have not really worked, but for Madrid, Barca winning against Celta Vigo, which is true. But Barca's defensive high line, any more offside traps, it did not work against Celta Vigo. Means Romeka, and I stand to be corrected. I didn't say Celta Vigo need the only team on the Barca bar. Barca ain't me catching offside. We need to check. I stand to be corrected. Okay. Celta Vigo might be the only opponent Barca in this season. When you're on a high line, check it go Boha Iglesias share first goal. No, they beat the Barca offside trap. So in as much as a difficult the more opponent, there is a certain vulnerability, especially right now when they have Martin Nebono. I just seem to be war and it can be exploited. But how Inter Milan are able to capitalize and exploit that vulnerability. Mano de mediaka, but Inter for the bedijuma. And how Inter will use their flanks, especially their wingbacks, in this course. Inter attackers omuni you wait for so there Madrid never sir. Mr. So you just come to me. Inter attackers omunya players or more paces are Lautaro needs speed. Marcus Thuram needs speed, but they can progress. So mostly for chance creation, I have not done free on my flank. So Denzel Dumfries on the right, Federico Di Marco on the left. Today, they'll be very crucial to Inter or more attacking threat or more boy for the Arma Barcelona. So if there will be any breaking or utilizing of Barca's high defensive line and then avoiding the traps, Barca for the best set for offside, a bit depending mostly on Dumfries and Di Marco. So again, the midfield battle. Inter midfield, no, they are a solid unit. Barca midfield, no, they are not just a solid unit, but full of adventure. Frankie de Jong, Pedri, playing the best football of his career. And they have won matches, no door. He is the most used midfielder by Hansi Flick.
Man of the match, I was also paying.
Pedri, and then the knack for playing line-breaking passes. I'm repeating this. Pedri, the knack for playing line-breaking passes. A bit di intenya ene. Uyi Rafinha free Barca team ni mo. They were creating more open play chances. No, it is Pedri. More than 80. And you nani a pass or bar. You can't line breaking passes. I won't say you were midfield, you were attack, you were defense. The pass a man. So which na midfield they breaking defense and after no be a trying to question the chi. Pedri ne idea was idea no pa and or the bed D Inter falling unless Inter adopt a low block.
Okay.
And they say yeah tonight and you to me monsi. But he will be a weapon of mass destruction for Barcelona against Inter Milan. But I know no one any line breaking passes in the ball. Barella on the other hand also does very well at that. Bonne, I don't know what to say Pedri, but he's efficient. So he also creates from line breaking passes. And this is where I come in. If Barca fail with their midfield duels, if they fail with their recoveries from the middle, Inter Bema adia yomo. Send your Pedri, any Frankie de Jong si bono, ayesa atano. Sana Chahanoglu, also yet the glue on knit it together, Mkhitaryan and Barella.
Chahanoglu, I the glue.
Oh, bas. You get it. So it is an interesting midfield setup, and I want to see how the midfield battle will pan out. But I'm repeating, if Barca fail in their recoveries and the duels or Mubenya, if they fail to win most of them, Inter for the bear affect you. The other one, the press, another pressing. Sebasa for my Inter quite more passable from the Barca. It will allow Inter much more comfort, and you can't afford to make such an opponent comfortable in a crucial game like this. Inter team no, omo pacific chire. Barca wo press omo wo ha omo.
Nti omo nte say PSG for no omo ye to say be a
press resistant.
Okay.
And omo midfielders omo no mu be no ye press resistant. To say Pedri and Frankie de Jong.
Okay.
Such a no kita ball now pressing the oh no better ball. Barella the same thing. Mkhitaryan the same. None of the Inter midfielders are press resistant, but Barca were press resistant midfielders. And Barca they know you press your mugidi, you time and you double up. To say the Madrid in the latter stages of Copa del Rey final, the year Pedri J ball a lead to South Africa number Peshe. But if Barca allows Inter to play from the back, because of Metrono, Acerbi, Bastoni, or whoever gets to play with them, including Beshek, Wayano. So more pressure, more comfortable. I know keeper also. On an excellent ball playing goalkeeper. So Barca's press, it needs to be as effective as ever, right from almost front line.
Because Flick by now almost press a
good. And no na Emma Lewandowski's absence, no, to me, I think a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
The Anti-Americans are here. The stats are there. Top game be Lewandowski and Messi out one Bobino. Barca have won. And they have scored goals. 5 of them, they scored 19 goals. Barca team, we know, it is true. Lewandowski is their most identifiable attacking threat anymore. He's their top scorer. But Osha team ni mo a goal scorers ne do so so baako ni mo a enheda nto sinza. Daniel Mama double figures and Ameboa. Ferran Torres Omar double figures. Rafinha, Yamal Omar double figures. Good. So they have goal scorers within their fold. But the Lewandowski no Ferran Torres in terms of activity without the ball, the press. Ferran Torres is very active and is more mobile than Lewandowski. So he will lead Barca's press from the front. And it be crucial for Barca. Because Barca team no so omoka more pressing intervene and no. So it is an interesting game with a lot of our favorite. But again, this is the Champions League. And momentum counts, especially if you make it count. Another bar. Momentum counts if you make it count. So wow, take advantage of your momentum creation period. You will hit this game. Barca are favorites too. You game we no more we need 3-1. Do not be surprised. But say Inter so shock you more. It is not because a idea Barca for 9 years, but it is because Inter have a lot in them, and on a good day they can prove it. So do not rule anything out.
Whoa, Mate, Mike, me that say.